Continuing with the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, applying to our lives. Viveka Vairagya Nidhi Pradabhyam. Okay, so forms of ignorance, forms of ego, forms of desire, forms of aversion, you just hate it, and fear of death. Now these things are profound, and we're just going over the lists, but we're going to get into the significance and how wonderful it is to have these tools to apply to the mass insanity that the world is experiencing today. The mind has 4 abilities. First, the ability to assemble rational sequences, like a recipe for cooking. Second, discrimination, the ability to tell one thing from another, like a pothole from a flat road. You would need to know the difference between those two things so that you would not run into the pothole and stay on the road. And third, contemplation. When an object is held in the mind and turned over and over in the mind and loosely and voluptuously studied, it's contemplation. Fourth is samadhi, the ability to merge with something else. Ultimately, samadhi is merging into God consciousness, which is the goal. Looking at the 4 abilities of the mind and the history of the mass insanity that was prophesied to arise and arrive at the age of Aquarius by my yoga master, certainly all fingers point to the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which sounded like a good thing. And being a legacy civil rights activist from Alabama, when I was very young and risked my life stupidly because I did not understand, but I could get into all that. However, those are false premises, and that should never have been done and pushed onto a people, the American people, because it's false, and it has created a huge dis-ease. It has had the opposite result of whatever it was intended to do. So discrimination we need to be able to discriminate in order to tell one thing from another and to get along, so that our nervous system can make proper decisions and adjustments so that we can flourish, which is the point. So nobody's listening to me today, but at some point that needs to be revoked. It should not be in place, and all of the horrible things that were done to people out of ignorance. And ignorance has nothing to do with whether you are an educated person or not. Ignorance is the tendency to ignore. What might we be ignoring? What is it that we might ignore? It comes down to our own self and our awareness. But this is a critical and important error that has been made socially and through experimentation on people who had no authority and did not know what they were doing, through politics. And it has to be changed because it's making people crazy and it's making people ill. So that's the beginning, and I've been wanting to say this and get it out there for quite a while. And now I feel that I can, and that it can be heard.